What is happening? It is the Nintendo Powercast. This is a little bonus episode. We got Crawler here. What's going on, baby?
Hey, how's it going? Crawl coming at you.
We're going to be doing a live reaction to the Indie World Direct. We're going to get that playing right away. And we are live on all the places, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. And so, yeah, here we go. We're going to kick this thing off. It's 50. No, it's
No,
not
you just got to
7
scrub.
minutes.
You got to scrub.
Yeah,
forward.
I got to scrub ahead. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. These
It starts
guys
at the half-hour mark, pretty much.
Okay, I'll back it up a little bit. Okay, here we go. We're almost right in the exact spot. Here we go. Let's hit play. I'm sure there's some sweet tunes. Maybe. No, nothing. Just dead silence. They're just leaving us here in silence. Move it ahead a little bit more. Right there to the half. Hey, there we go. Here we go. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Oh, hey, look at that.
There's your music.
There it is. Hello, it says. Let me turn off.
Hello, and welcome to Indie World.
I'm Mariko.
And I'm Tyler.
We're back with a showcase full of indie games headed to the Nintendo Switch system.
What are your
Let's dive
predictions?
right in.
Crawler, what are you hoping?
I mean, the internet every time gets excited for Silksong. I mean, we haven't had the official. It's coming to Xbox. It's coming to PlayStation. We haven't gotten the official announcement that it's coming to Switch. We know it is. I mean, I would hope that we see Silksong here. I mean, I don't know, but I say that every time we have an indie or a direct period. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Silksong, Sports Story.
yeah, Cheesy was tweeting about Sports Story yesterday.
So fingers crossed. This is
It's a cooking game, I think.
kind of looks that way, yeah. Is it Venba? Is that the name?
I'm Sam.
And I'm Sharon. We're making a cooking game called Venba, which is about an
Got
immigrant
it.
Indian mother
Cooking
and her
game.
family coming to Canada in the 80s.
Food often acts as a bridge between assimilated children and their immigrant parents, so we wanted to use cooking as a lens to tell the story of this family as they grow and change.
We often see the kids' side of these stories, but as we ourselves got older, we thought telling the parents' side might make for an interesting change of perspective, and we hope you find it interesting too.
Bon appetit and enjoy the show.
Something smells delicious.
Grab
like
a
the art
spoon
style.
and get a taste of this wholesome narrative cooking game. Help an Indian mother who has recently immigrated to Canada reconnect with her heritage by cooking a variety of mouth-watering South Indian dishes.
Experience a story of love and loss through branching conversations. Try to restore lost family recipes and bop along to a soundtrack inspired by Indian musicals.
Start working up an appetite for Venba, coming to the Nintendo Switch system next spring.
So it's like Overcooked but
There
slower.
we go. Ever wanted to to make a game?
Yeah,
Or Cooking Mama
but it's
with an
a
Indian
lot
twist.
harder than you might think. Just ask Kani'i and Kumade, two
Less
friends
yelling and
striving
fighting
to find the
than
perfect
Overcooked.
idea for their
Hopefully.
next game. Watch
Exactly.
their story develop as you play through stages of a retro-inspired puzzle
Whoa.
platformer while following their day-to-day struggles.
Their recent games haven't exactly been raking in profits, so both of them must work part-time jobs to make ends meet. Will their friendship be able to take the strain of these challenges?
Game within a game.
Find
I'm
out
here for it.
when
I'm
Goodbye
here for it.
World
Inception.
launches on Nintendo Switch later this month.
What's up, chat? Welcome in, everybody. Glad you guys are here. We are live reacting to the Indie World Direct. Have a Nice Death coming to Nintendo Switch. Yo, this. Are you
It's got
excited about
some
this one?
it's got some
Hollow Knight
vibes to
vibes.
it.
Yeah. Yo, this one looks pretty rad.
Boss battles. That looks fun.
The graphics are really cool. Have a Nice Death. It looks
Are
very.
you playing as
modern.
Death? That's awesome.
I'm dying to play this one.
Oh
It
boy.
would be a grave mistake to skip it. Don the robes of Death Incorporated CEO, Death himself, in this grimly charming roguelike game.
It looks like your subordinates have been
Oh, it's a
working
roguelike, okay.
overtime, so it's up to you
I
to
just
restore
turned my brain off
work-death
at that point.
balance. There are 70 wicked weapons and scorching spells at your disposal.
So
all of which
it's
can be
Hollow Knight
upgraded
meets
to create
Dead
devastating
Cells.
combos as you hack
There we
and
go.
slash your way through the corporate underworld.
One of the perks of being Death is that, well, you can't die. So use what you've learned and earned to overcome each department's vengeful minions and bosses. Reap what you sow when Have a Nice Death slashes onto Nintendo Switch March 22nd.
I'll probably check that one out.
Pre-orders begin later
beautiful.
today.
From Gearbox too.
Bonjour, je suis Justine
Namra.
et nous sommes Cosmogato. Passionnés de films d'animation et après avoir travaillé sur des longs métrages, nous avons voulu créer un monde magique que l'on pourrait s'approprier.
So they've worked on
En effet,
feature
après avoir
films,
grandi avec des films d'animation traditionnels
growing
des
up
années
watching
90,
traditionally animated
il
movies
était
in the
naturel de
90s.
dessiner un monde luxuriant, organique et peint à la main, avec une histoire qui, je l'espère, vous touchera. Merci.
I like
Merci.
the stuffed animal behind him.
Is there anything
There we
better than
go.
relaxing in nature and enjoying the gentle sea breeze?
What about doing both of those things while
So,
lying
Animal
on
Crossing,
top of a
but a red
giant
panda?
capybara?
Actually, animals.
In this small open world game, you have one goal. Find
Is that a
inner
red panda?
peace
I'm
on
assuming
an
that's what it
isolated
is.
island paradise.
That's what I'm picking up.
As the retired warrior Akka, explore handcrafted islands covered in majestic mountains.
Wait, is
dense
this the
tropical
sequel to that?
forests, and inviting hot springs.
What?
Spend your time
Remember
here
where you like
however
the
you'd like.
the game where you
Nurture the
play as a
island's
red
flora
panda?
and
It's on Game
fauna,
Pass right now, I
build a
think.
shelter, craft items.
It's like
Uh,
a
feed
it's
these
like a
adorable baby dragons.
oh my god, what is
Or
it? They sent
go
it
on
to me.
quests
It's
to meet mysterious characters, friendly giants, and face
something
the ghosts of
like-
your past. Literally.
something like Bionic something,
Akka
or I can't
washes
remember
up
exactly.
on Nintendo Switch, December
Akka.
15th.
The character was like a red panda though, and it was like a 3D Zelda style game. Okay, Devolver Digital. This looks very like. Wasn't there a game called Driller?
Mr. Driller, yeah.
Is this?
I mean, this looks
is-
like a better, more
this is-
fast-paced.
Yo, this art style though.
Gatling gun.
Dig, explore, and grind. Oh, they didn't really fight it out. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, this looks good.
Looks very interesting. Getting some kind of Meat Boy vibes a little bit.
Meat Boy, Celeste, a little bit. Like,
Yeah. Pepper grinder? Is that what it's called?
yeah.
Interesting.
Can you dig this game?
Yes, and so can Pepper. This spicy, drill-wielding treasure hunter has been shipwrecked and robbed. Now, she must spin up her trusty drill grinder to reclaim what was stolen from her. Chew through the terrain, perform impressive maneuvers, and solve tricky puzzles as you unearth collectibles for your gallery and gather up pieces of the scattered riches.
Yeah, that looks
Cash
good.
them in to pep up Pepper and upgrade Grinder with new drill bits. Ramp up the chaos to the max and open up even more areas to dig in this thrilling drilling adventure. Pepper
So I wonder if it's a
Grinder burrows
Metroidvania
onto
type.
Nintendo
I mean,
Switch
or if
next
it's
year.
just like stage to stage to stage.
Good question. Yeah. What I
think
loved
it's
is
time we
the
take a
art
coffee
style was
break.
so great, but
Then
the
pull
the
up a
drilling
chair
effect just looked
because this
very satisfying.
coffee-brewing, narrative-driven visual novel is back for a second episode. As the barista of your own late-night coffee shop, meet quirky characters, listen to their heartfelt stories, and get to know them, one cup at a time, all while enjoying the cozy lo-fi soundtrack.
Not all of your customers will be human. You'll encounter an opera-singing banshee.
This is a game I would play every
more
night before I go to
crewmates
bed for
games,
2 minutes.
And many more fantastical
Because it would put you to
regulars.
sleep.
Experiment with ingredients to find just the right brew for each customer. Dazzle them with latte art masterpieces and uncover
Okay, the latte
secret
art's pretty
recipes
rad.
that are sure to warm their heart.
Only if you have to do it with the
Relax
Joy-Con.
and stay a while when Coffee Talk
Yes.
Episode 2
I'm gonna use my
Hibiscus and
Pokeball to
Butterfly
pour out milk.
pours onto Nintendo Switch next spring.
Coffee talk. Okay, the soundtrack is.
Is that a Pokemon?
sweet. It was. He retired as a Pokemon. He's gone off on his own.
He's retired in,
It's like
in
I'm-
Japan or whatever.
I'm tired of being captured. It's time for me to forge my own path. The soundtrack is like fire right now. The song choice is amazing.
That looks straight up like a Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm having an emotional response to this Oni game. Road to the Mightiest Oni.
Take on the role of a vengeful demon warrior in this spirited 3D action adventure.
He was a ghost type.
After his defeat at the hands of a Japanese folktale hero, Kuta travels to a small island where he joins forces with the spirit Kazemaru.
Ancient demons lurk within vast meadows and lush forests. To defeat them, you'll control both characters simultaneously using a single Joy-Con controller.
Action comp.
Wield Kuta's club to
Single
attack
Joy-Con.
demons, then
That's
summon
troublesome.
Kazemaru to draw out their spirit.
But beware, some demons are invincible, leaving you with no other choice than to flee the encounter. Can Kuta overcome his trials and become the most powerful demon? Begin your quest in Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni, when it comes to Nintendo Switch, March 9th,
I wonder if that's only single
2023.
Joy-Con or if there's other control options.
Hopefully more. Nothing worse than the lack of
Getting a dodgeball game?
options. This one's called Dip Dodge. No.
Desta, the memories in between.
From the creators of Monument Valley comes a character-driven, roguelite, metaphorical ball game?
Every night, when Desta falls asleep,
What,
they enter
even
a
the hosts were
mysterious dream world
confused.
filled with scattered memories of long-forgotten locations, faces from
Wait,
days gone by,
it's-
and
This
yes,
is grid-based.
powerful
It's Mario-
orbs for
me-
playing
Mario
a
plus
surreal
Rabbids
turn-based
equals-
ball game.
Use the orbs
Dodgeball.
to pull off perfect throws, shoot sneaky
It is-
trick
it's
shots,
XCOM
and
Dodgeball.
change the course of conversation. As the night
With narrative
progresses,
in
you fall
between.
deeper
That's
into
what
a sweet
Desta
slumber.
loosely translates
You'll
to
unlock
XCOM
new
Dodgeball.
abilities and ways to overcome challenges. You'll also meet a cast of colorful characters along the way, brought to life with a full voice cast.
This is interesting, but
Unravel your dreams when Desta, The Memories Between, launches on Nintendo Switch early next year.
Very interesting.
Young love, going to the movies, skipping school, using supernatural mind-reading powers.
Yeah, wait, what?
Yep, this slice of life pixel art game has it all.
Love the look.
Set in 90s rural Indonesia, it follows high school sweethearts Atma and Raya through their journey of
The arcade.
self-discovery.
However, when a mysterious power suddenly threatens their existence, they must scour their vibrant little town in search of answers, talking and diving into the minds of the townsfolk to uncover deep secrets.
Can Atma and Raya face the end of the world? Find out when A Space for the Unbound launches
kind of side-scrolling
on Nintendo
RPG,
Switch,
kind of.
January 19th,
Giving me the
2023.
world ends with you kind of vibes. The watercolor art's pretty cool. Oh, taking some Polaroids.
shaking it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say that.
Dorgani? I don't have any idea.
Bonjour, je suis Cédric Babouche du studio Un Je ne sais quoi et directeur artistique de Dordogne. Dordogne, c'est l'histoire de Mimi.
Was
Dordogne.
I close? I think I was close.
Qu'elle a mystérieusement oublié.
Very,
Quand
very
j'étais
French, I
enfant,
guess.
Je me souviens que l'été était synonyme d'indépendance et d'exploration. un moment magique où chaque jour était la promesse d'une nouvelle
Look at all the
aventure.
art behind him.
Notre
Mhm.
studio souhaite recréer cette étincelle de nostalgie à travers le parcours de Mimi. On se sert d'un mélange de peinture traditionnelle et d'animation pour créer des sensations et un lien fort entre les visuels et les émotions
Yeah, they must
que l'on
have
souhaite
some
partager.
really cool artists on
Que
their
vous
team.
jouiez seul ou avec
Absolutely,
votre
yeah.
famille, on espère que vous apprécierez Dordogne.
Look at these landscapes.
Oh,
Ooh la la,
interesting.
so pretty.
Meet Mimi. As a
So, like,
child, she spent
Fixed
all of her
background,
summers
kind
here.
of.
Now she returns to her late
a little bit of
grandmother's home
animation
to find
Yeah.
that
for
she's
character.
left behind a series of letters and lost family secrets for Mimi to uncover.
Revisit Mimi's childhood memories and help her reconnect with the inquisitive girl she once was.
That cat was
Play
stuck.
both in the past and the present. Skip along the picturesque French countryside as 10-year-old Mimi while exploring her grandmother's house in the present.
Discover the close relationship between grandmother and granddaughter as you collect photos, objects, and words. Use them to fill Mimi's journal and keep her precious memories alive. Dordogne travels onto the Nintendo Switch system next spring. I can barely keep a houseplant
What, is this another
alive.
farming?
Don't worry, you don't need
Botany
a green
Manor.
thumb to enjoy
What
this
is
one.
going on with
As
these
Arabella
directs?
Green, you're a retired botanist who has a grand manor all to yourself. Take care of its magnificent gardens by solving plant-based puzzles and preserving a collection of
It's a
forgotten
plant-based myth
flora.
game. That's what
That's
it
what
is.
I was
Seeds.
thinking too.
Plant them
That's exactly
and
what I was
find their
thinking.
ideal
I'm like,
habitat.
wait a minute. Is this
Some
a sequel
plants
to
will be
this?
Plant-based
messy,
myth-
so
myth.
you'll have to think outside the box or pot to locate
I mean,
the
first-person
right
puzzle
place
games
for
are
them.
sometimes pretty fun.
Inspect
I mean,
the manor
Yeah.
for clues, newspaper clippings, letters, and more to help your gardening skills blossom while learning more about Arabella herself.
Stop and smell the flowers when Botany Manor blooms onto Nintendo
not a farming
Switch
sim.
next year.
Whoa, sick crocodile costume. It's a dragon. Anyway, we better start the show if you
What?
want to win that theater
What is this
contest.
game like?
Okay,
It looks.
Let's go.
The Royal Theatrical Spectacle.
What?
It's the best of all
What?
the festivals, where everyone loves acting and people appreciate a good song. You two should perform at my festival.
Oh wow.
Fresh need to become a famous theater show every day. You guys totally have a chance to win the contest and perform at the Royal Theatrical
I'm in shock
Spectacle.
right now.
The
What?
Royal Theatrical Spectacle. The
That
Royal
guy's a
That's
sock.
Talk Puppet, just
Party,
talk.
The Royalty Base Spectaculus.
Like this guy's fully
Stand
voice
down,
acted.
Dragon. You're no match for me. You'll never defeat me, Prince. Oh, ze filmen al. Hoi, wij zijn Bonte Avond. Een groep van 4 muzikanten die samen games zijn gaan maken.
Games maken voelt soms als optreden voor ons.
All
Voice
the audio
acting,
listeners are
improviseren met
like, this is
vrienden,
great.
Samen liedjes spelen
NPC,
en gewoon
thanks.
grapjes en
Speaking- are
ideeën
they
te
Norwegian?
bedenken. Je kan het ook voelen in het
I'm
spel,
not guessing,
waar
because
vaak
then
wat je
I
hoort
just
ook
look
ons
bad.
eerste
So
take was.
I'm just gonna
We wilden
say
de
maybe.
spelers dit gevoel van improvisatie geven door ze te laten acteren, zingen en dansen in ons nieuwe spel Once Upon a Jester. Het is gevuld met zelfgemaakte liedjes, grappige personages en avonturen. We hopen dat je het leuk zal vinden.
You know what? I'm joining a traveling theater troupe.
Certainly
pretty
you
funny.
jest.
Yeah.
Nope. Musical theater rules. That's what best friends Sock and Jester are about to discover.
Sock. The character's name is
Devised a
Sock.
mischievous
That's what I'm gonna start
scheme
calling
to
you from
steal
now
a
on.
royal diamond.
Sock coming
Trouble
at you.
is, their plan hinges on receiving an invitation to join the famous Royal Theatrical Spectacle.
Only the best of the best get invited, so they'll have to improv their way to fame and outperform every other act they encounter on the road. Join them on their wacky, whimsical journey across a fantasy kingdom full of silly characters and even sillier spectacles.
No two performances are the same, so sing your heart out, crack jokes, and make the stage your own.
Once Upon a Jester jingles onto Nintendo Switch
coming out
later
today.
today.
Well, you gonna play that or God of War?
I'm probably gonna play God of War.
Anyone can be a hero in this sequel to the classic roguelite game where the adventure
Oh, Rogue
changes
Legacy
with
2 is finally
every
coming to
playthrough.
Switch. Good.
Whether you're a lute-playing bard with vertigo or a vegan chef who fights meat, your goals are the same. Gather countless
Is
riches,
this a
build up your
series you
castle,
like?
and ensure your legacy.
I haven't played a
All
lot of
your
Rogue Legacy
upgrades
1, but like
carry over
I've
to
heard
your
good things
heirs,
about it, and
each
Rogue
new
Legacy 2
successor
came out
wields their own personal
earlier this
traits
year
and
or
abilities.
late last year, and
The
it was on
Nintendo
everything.
Switch
It's on
version
everything else,
also
so
includes the Fabled Heroes
good that it's coming
update,
to Switch.
adding a ton of new content, including dozens of new subclasses and items. So experiment with different playstyles as you battle
I think Johnny's
fierce
played it.
foes, make friends, and avoid clown bites that can give you clownanthropy.
Ugh, you might want to get that looked at.
Oh.
You won't have to wait long to build your own legacy. Rogue Legacy 2 launches
Out
on
today.
Nintendo Switch later today.
I think one of the devs tweeted, or the dev, I'm not sure. If
Buddy
you,
up and experience the
if
emotional
you're a creator,
tale of an
email
unlikely
him
friendship
for a copy of
in
the
the
game
co-op adventure
on
Blanc.
Switch.
A wolf cub and a fawn are stranded
We've
together
seen this.
after a sudden snowstorm. Now,
I think so, yeah.
they must
Yeah.
learn to rely on each other as they trek through the vast snowy wilderness, following their
What a
family's tracks.
beautiful
Two
art style
players
for
must
being
work
black and
together
white.
by using each animal's abilities to navigate obstacles among the frosty terrain. In addition to simple
the-
controls, this game's
It Takes
story
Two
and
and-
gameplay are both text-free,
But-
so
but it's
anyone
animal-based.
can easily immerse
Takes Two
themselves
meets Bambi.
in this handcrafted, monochrome world.
That's not really
Start
Thumper.
your journey when Blanc steps onto Nintendo Switch
Oh,
as a console
I know what we're doing on
exclusive
Valentine's Day, Crawler.
February 14th. Pre-orders begin later today. Can't get enough indies? Let's take a look at some more games coming to Nintendo
Montage.
Switch
Here's,
soon.
here comes the montage. Montage incoming. WrestleQuest. Okay, this one looks pretty. This one looks pretty good.
Have we seen this? Did we see that one before a little bit?
Didn't look familiar to me. Are you talking about Wobbles or the last
No,
one?
WrestleQuest. I thought maybe we'd seen a sneak of that. Sneak preview of that. Storyteller. It's like you get to
Make your own books.
Comic, like make a comic strip.
Yo, this one looks. World of Horror looks interesting.
Kind of like the Obra Dinn game a little bit, but more. There's more stuff going on the screen.
Curse of Sea Rats looks very Metroidvania.
Looks super animated, like 90s animated.
Whoa, that was interesting. Like
Hard
it started
beat.
off with a real like video, and then it went and moved to a game.
ASMR the game.
Let's get organized.
OCD the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, look at this cat just ruined. This is kind of hilarious.
A little to the left.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm Annie.
Hi, I'm Lucas.
I guess we like to keep things pretty tidy around the house, don't we?
Yeah, it can be so satisfying to find the right spot for things.
Yeah, like I love finding the perfectly sized plastic container to fit leftovers in.
That's the best.
I know! This is what our game A Little to the Left is all about. Finding satisfying puzzles hidden among household objects.
Yeah, it's inspired by our lives, our home, and our
There's catnip in their coffee cups.
Rookie just gets in the way sometimes. He can't help it. He sleeps at Lucas's desk while he's working.
Yeah, and I have to type between the tail swishes.
Yeah. So we hope you have a really good time tidying up in A Little to the Left.
Thanks.
Can you move this picture a bit? Yes, a bit to the left. A little bit more. That's it. Perfect.
This is another one to play before
You
bed.
really like things neat and tidy, huh?
You will too after playing A Little to the Left, a cozy puzzle game where you organize household objects into satisfying arrangements. Sort spoons of different sizes and shapes, stack papers, put away the cat toys. Oh,
Is this motion
did I
controls?
mention there's a cat?
Hey, pause off. This fluffy friend has mischief on their mind and will show up from time to time to make a mess of your beautifully organized object.
The cat
Don't worry, there are
took the
more than
cloth.
75 delightful messes to solve, many of which have multiple solutions. Oh, and yes, you can pet the cat.
Neat.
Gotta be
A
able to pet
Little
the
to
cat.
the Left launches on Nintendo Switch later today. And that's it for today's Indie. Wait.
Wait.
Is that
Four! Sorry to butt in, but we have an update on Sports Story.
There it is.
In this all-out sporting RPG, you'll rise through the ranks of the sports world and prove your prowess on the golf course, tennis court, and soccer field.
There are even more sports in your quest for athletic excellence. Raise your sporting rank to unlock even more disciplines, including BMX, mini golf, volleyball, cricket, and more. Then kick back at the mall to relax, go on quests, and explore dungeons?
That's right. This game isn't just about sports.
Looks a
Hop
lot
on a
bigger
train or
than Golf
helicopter
Story.
to visit
Yeah, it
goat-infested
does.
buildings, abandoned ruins, and the mysterious wildlands.
And the
Or
graphics,
pursue
like
your
all the
other
artwork,
passions.
pretty
Make
crazy.
friends and enemies, go fishing, become a detective, partake in a bit of espionage. There's so much to do.
You won't have to wait long. Sports Story kicks off on the Nintendo
next
Switch
month.
system
All right,
next
this
month.
year.
And that's it
And
for
they
today's
put it
Indie
out
World. We
just
hope
too
you
late
enjoyed the
to hit the
games in
Game
today's
Awards.
showcase.
A big thank you to our indie community and to partners working on
That game's
games
been
for
delayed for a
Nintendo
while.
Switch.
They've been
as
pushing
always,
that back, pushing that back. It was supposed to be
you
last year,
for
wasn't
watching.
Don't forget to
seems like-
follow our official Twitter account to stay up to date on all the latest news from Indie World.
Until next time, happy gaming!
All right, I'm gonna run the intro again, and then I will cut that first part out for the audio listeners, so they won't have to endure just us reacting to the whole thing here. And I'm gonna run the intro right now, and then we're gonna start. We'll just do a little NPC mini talking about it. So here we go. And chat, we want to hear from you guys. What is happening? It's the Nintendo Powercast Mini. We just got done watching the Indie World Direct, which you can go watch our live reaction. It was crazy. Crawler was jumping out of his chair. It was wild and just no, I know it wasn't that crazy. But yeah, Crawler, what's up, man?
How's it going? Carl coming at you.
Well, let's just jump. Let's just dive right in. We'll just dive right in. What'd you think of the Indie World Direct?
This one was a little bit less heavy on the farm simulator, so I think that was good. I think we had one or two maybe that were fitting that bill, but I think this was a good mix. We ended with Sports Story, finding out that it's going to come out next month, which I think that's kind of the big one. I think Rogue Legacy 2 is another big one. That's out today. Available on other platforms, but hadn't been available on Switch yet. Have a Nice Death looks really interesting, and that comes out March next year. What else? Botany Manor. I mean, for being what was a joke, I mean, it looks like a Myst, but a Myst like at a abandoned botanist house or something like that. I mean, if you like first person puzzle games, I mean, I'm sure that'll be interesting. The Oni one looks interesting. I mean, it looks open world 3D kind of action fighting kind of game. I mean, that could be interesting. Pepper Grinder from Devolver, I think that looks really fun as well.
Yeah, there's a handful that definitely piqued my interest, but I don't feel like there was anything that I was like, that is an absolute must play for me. You know, there was just like the Pepper Grinder, whatever, did look cool. It looked very satisfying to play or to drill through the ground or whatever. But I don't know. I didn't feel like there was. I'm always hoping for at least one that's just gonna like really feel like yeah, that's something that I'm like super stoked jump into. And I think Dead Cells was that, Hollow Knight was that, Celeste was kind of that, Golf Story was even that, and Sports Story looks great. But for me, after playing Golf Story, I'm like, I don't know, like it was real hyped for a while, but it didn't really. And they're indie games, right? They don't have a super long tail on
I'm
them.
excited to see how they take on other games, because like badminton or tennis and cricket and soccer and BMX, like there's a whole bunch of other games that are being put into a kind of top-down perspective. I mean, that'll be interesting to see how they tackle that.
Fishing is always good.
Mhm.
When you've got fishing in a game, always a win, right? But and Sports Story will be one that I probably do pick up. But it's just going to depend on how hard I'm going on Pokemon, right? Like that's the tricky part with indies, especially this time of year. It's like there's so many games coming out that it's like you better really, really stand out, or you're gonna kind of just fall to the wayside. Like what was it, Sock and Jester or whatever is out now.
Yeah.
Like here's what I will say. I loved the creativity of everything from this direct. Almost all of these games were like very unique. They definitely seem to be taking risks. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be for me. Not a bad thing, but I think there's going to be plenty of people that are interested in some of these games because of their art style or because of the gameplay mechanics. I could see quite a few, maybe more casual gamers really enjoying some of the games that we saw from today. I just don't see myself wanting to put too much time into something casual. I mean, you're sitting there downloading God of War right now. Like you're probably ready to jump in and play as soon as we wrap up here, right? So,
yep.
Like, you gonna go grab Sock and Jester, or are you gonna play Ragnarok?
It's gonna be a Ragnarok day,
right? Yeah, for sure. I mean, you took the day off of work to be able to play Ragnarok today,
Yep.
so it's an event for you. So overall, if I was gonna grade the overall direct for myself, and this is gonna probably seem a little bit low, but just for me, I'm probably gonna give it a 7, right? And it's maybe even more like a 6.5.
I was leaning 6, 7. I mean and that's not. It's just a handful of games are coming out later on. With I think WrestleQuest. I think we did see WrestleQuest on like the Xbox showcase or something, maybe, because it looked familiar. There's like Macho Man Randy Savage and Andre the Giant and stuff on the cover art here. I feel like you're a wrestler coming up through
the ranks or something.
Yeah. And so that might have been shown on Xbox or something like that. But that comes out in May. But I mean, Sports Story, I'll definitely pick it up. The Death game, I think, is one of the other ones that I'll probably pick up.
That was probably the biggest highlight was Death and Oni
and
for me.
Pepper Grinder as well, I think.
Was it Blanc or whatever? I can't remember the name. The Blanco or whatever.
Blanc is the 2-player puzzle solving. Yeah.
For Valentine's Day next year, you and me. Right.
Yep.
So again, the art style on some of these, it's super fantastic. Like I love the way they look, but like a lot of, and the I don't remember the name of it, but it looked like it was a game within a game, right? They were playing Game Boy.
That was one of the first ones.
Yeah. The characters were like laying on the couch playing Game Boy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that took me back. Like when the Game Boy came out and I was able to borrow some friends and stuff, like being in the living room, using the light of the lamp to be able to see the screen on that Game Boy because it was rough. That was fun. Chat, we do want to hear from you guys. We'll throw your chats up if you're on YouTube or Twitch. We can get your opinion on this direct live on the air right now. You just got to be on YouTube or Twitch. We're also live on TikTok. So what's up, everybody? Good to see you. Yeah, overall though, like and what's the Death one called?
Have a Nice Death.
Have a Nice Death, you know, published by Gearbox. Like it looks like a very polished. And from my understanding, I think it's out. I think it's out on other systems.
Oh, really?
I believe so. It looks very familiar. I can pull up a quick Google search here, but I think it is out on Have a Nice Death. It's got a 9 out of 10 on Steam. And it came out on March 8th.
Platform, Microsoft, and Windows. So
it came out March 8th, 2022. So but really it might scratch that Hollow Knight itch for you, you know, just a little bit. Like for me, what I really liked about it is like the art style looked very modern, you know, for a modern. Oh, look at this. We have a guest. A Wild Cheesy has appeared.
Is this me? What is going on?
On his new computer setup and everything,
New computer, new microphone. Look at this.
Everything sound good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Cool.
look and sound great. So, Cheesy, what grade do you give this direct? What'd you think?
What grade do I give it? I think I give it a B. I was pretty pleased with it.
Okay, all right.
thought
Crawler
there
and I
was a-
gave it like a C+, like
Okay.
right around there. So
Yeah. Was there what? I'm sure you've already talked about it, but was there something that you were missing other than Silk Song?
I mean, Silk Song's missing from everything at this point. So I mean that's the main thing. I thought it was good to see some titles that have been out on other things. I haven't played them personally, but I've heard really good things about the Rogue Legacy 1 and 2. Rogue
Mhm.
Legacy 1 has been on Switch, I think, for a little bit now. Now Rogue Legacy 2 is available. I didn't realize that Have a Nice Death was available on other has already been out. But like that's the good thing about the Indie Directs is it's a showcase to over 111,000 people that own a Switch that maybe don't 111
almost 115
million. Sorry, it's early still.
Get that second cup of coffee,
Yeah.
baby.
But like it's a good way to get the Switch bump. I mean, we talk about that for a lot of games, and there's some that you don't want to see that get, but indie games shouldn't have much the system shouldn't hold it back a ton. I've heard some things like Tunic doesn't run as well as it does. I mean, obviously it doesn't run as well as it does on Xbox or whatever, but I mean, just having a game that's not going to suffer too bad graphically and can hopefully run okay. I know Johnny was playing Sonic last night on Switch. I mean, if stuff can perform well on the Switch, just getting eyes on it and having that many people that have the platform, that's a good way to just get eyes on it.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, like, people want to make that comparison all the time of how Switch doesn't run as well as other consoles, but like we have Breath of the Wild, and I think that is just the prime example of what the Switch can do if developers allow it to do that. As far as indie games and indie developers, the Switch is a great console for on the go. I mean, we've seen it for the past 5-6 years now. And what that can do for that market. I mean, some of the greatest games that I can think of that are on Switch are indie games.
No question. Any big takeaways for you on this direct? Any that you are really excited for day one?
You called it with Sports Story though yesterday.
I
in your
did.
tweet.
I was so excited. I love sports. Well, I love Golf Story. So I'm very excited for Sports Story. Yeah, I think Aka looks fun, and Pepper Grinder. That looked like a blast. I can't wait to play that. When does that one come out? Do we know?
Pepper Grinder is March, I think.
Cool. Right on. I think the only problem I have with these kind of indie directs is they're not as big as your first party games. So they do kind of go under the radar when you do have a release that's like, it's coming out next June, which is cool. Like, I'll be excited for it when that happens, but you kind of forget about it until then. Like when I saw Blanc, that I'm pretty sure they announced that in the last Indie World.
They did, yeah.
And then it showed up again, and I was like, oh yeah, this game looked really cool. But like, I did forget about it. So I
And
would say
isn't-
maybe
isn't
that's
like
the
a
only
Sea of-
downside.
Isn't like a Sea of Stars supposed to come out this year too? Isn't that
Oh yeah,
is that supposed to be
I thought so.
December? I don't remember, but
Sea of Stars on Switch.
yeah,
I'll check it right now.
that's the one with the I think
It
somebody
just says 2022 from the Messenger.
yeah, and also I think people that worked on Chrono Trigger. I think
It's Sabotage Studio.
I think it's got the composer from
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Pepper Grinder does not have a date. It just says 2023.
Oh, okay.
But that one, I think that one stood out to Josh and I both as
Yeah.
being one that looks really, really good.
Just more fast paced. I think that's probably why it got on our radars a little more, because
Right.
when we do have these indie worlds, we are seeing a lot more cozy games, and there's nothing wrong with cozy games. Like, we all need them. But after a while of seeing the same kind of experience and atmosphere that you may be getting with some of these games, seeing a game like Pepper Grinder that's really going to get you just thinking differently and quick is what has me intrigued about that game.
What did you think about Sock and Jester? I was actually thinking about you as they showed that, because I know you've got kind of a background with theater and acting and even film and everything, and
Yeah.
you know, just improv your way to the kingdom. Like, I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder if this is something that'll be up Cheesy's alley.
It's interesting because, like, when I saw that, it made me have a smile on my face. That's like, we have a game that's about improv. That's very cool. But I don't know if it's a game I would pick up. Like, I would be interested in seeing somebody else play it versus me buying it and experiencing it. I guess, like, I want to see like what that is like. But I don't know. Like, there was something that was stopping me from buying it.
What's difficult anymore is we're getting into subscription services more and more with Xbox and with PlayStation. And I would almost prefer to see I like when these games hit those services, because when they're on Game Pass, it's like you can give it a try if you really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know the dev got paid well from being on Game Pass. It from my understanding, pays the development costs.
Either got
And
paid well
so-
or they were helped along in the development process. So they're monetarily compensated somehow.
Right. And then so, you know, and it makes it's almost like at the end of one of these directs, they need to go, hey, download and play the first 10 minutes of every one of these games. Right.
Yeah.
Like if you
Bring
could,
back game demos. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could have a demo to see if it draws you in, because it's like, it's not just the monitor. It's not just the, do I want to open my wallet for this any longer, but it's the time investment. You
It's
know,
true.
like, do I want to put and in this time of year when it's, you know, everything's coming out, you know, you've got the major Call of Duties and Pokemon and
God of War.
Yeah, it's just you're fighting for attention at this point. And so to really give them a better chance, it would almost be nice if there was the opportunity to be able to test these out ahead of time. And that's where something like Game Pass or the PlayStation service come in very handy. And I believe there may be something, does Steam just do demos, or can you kind of do you Crawler, you do a little bit on Steam, right?
if you buy it and you play under, there's a time threshold. If you play under like 2 hours, I think you can get a refund.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that
Which
might
I think
even
is a lot
be-
easier than trying to get a refund on Xbox or PlayStation.
Depending, I've had one issue, like I bought something on Call of Duty on accident. They issued the refund almost immediately and let me keep the item. I was like, well, this is strange, but they, you know, whatever. They're making their money. So, but yeah, I wonder if but I also wonder if there's not something there Nintendo could do where they're like, hey, buy our indie service where you can, you know, for $3 a month or something, $5 a month, you can test out X amount of games for a certain amount of time, or, you know, I don't know. I just want these things to have the best shot. That's where my head's at. Like, how can the indies really really win here.
Well,
You
because
know,
any more on Switch, like I almost do wait and see if it comes to Xbox just to try it out. And if I do like it, then I might double dip just for the convenience of being able to take it with me when I go somewhere. But not having cross save available on everything, it's kind of a hindrance there as well. But you can almost guarantee a lot of those end up either on PlayStation Plus as like the game of the month, or in Game Pass, or whatever.
chat, we do want to hear from you guys before we wrap up here. If you have any thoughts on the direct, please go ahead and type them in chat. We'll throw them up on the screen here and discuss.
I think it's tough because when you see like games being shadow dropped and we can play them today, like it's very exciting. But like you guys are saying, with having a subscription service, it would be nice to have that. But at the same time, like we know that we're going to pay full price for a first party game. And I know that we aren't saying like indie games don't matter, but like we also need to have that in mind that like, okay, if we can pay this much for a first party game, we should be able to give our money to the developers. And I know that that would go through the subscription service, and you know, like you were saying, the companies are being paid well, but maybe we also do give our money and purchase these games full price the same way we would a first party game.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And maybe something like a subscription service would give us a percentage off of these games, right? If the subscription service was low, it allowed you to test, but then you also got like 10% off,
like Game Pass does.
Yeah, something along those lines. Because the other thing is what they're finding with Game Pass is people end up purchasing it because they're only there. It's only there for a limited time. It's not like if it's not an Xbox first party, it's not there forever. So, Hate Zero, one of the return of Hate Zero says direct was meh for me. So many of these indies now feel samesies, copies of other indies, and I can't help but think back to the days of like Floor Kids or Celeste, when Hate was so excited about some of those games and just, you know, would go on and on about Floor Kids and about Celeste, and that's what I feel like at times is missing with a lot. There hasn't been like that gem that everybody is just like, there's hype. The Discord is all talking about it. Twitter is all talking about it. Everybody's really excited. It does kind of feel like there's a lot of the same. And it's not necessarily, it's just because it's meh for him or meh for me or for Crawler or Cheesy, that doesn't make it a bad thing. If there's a lot of,
we don't want to yuck your yum, right?
Yeah, and if there's a lot of if you really are more into the casual style game and the, you know, move to the left or move it to the left or whatever, like you know, you can scratch that OCD itch and get everything organized. Like, more power to you. Like, I get it. Like, but like Cheesy was saying, Pepper Grinder had a lot more appeal to me, looking like a modern Super Nintendo game where I'm like, you know, moving through the traversing that world in such a way that it's different and also looks very satisfying, and you're trying to hit the right paths and collect stuff along the way. Like that stood out far more to me than Myst 2 in the garden.
I'm looking at the Discord and it looks like Servant, Hoffman, and Cryptic are all kind of talking the same kind of 3 games that we've kind of been talking about: Sports Story, WrestleQuest, Have a Nice Death. Not so many of them are talking about Pepper Grinder, but those 3 titles are definitely coming to the top of being discussed in the Discord.
Games like Celeste and Hades, did those come out first on Switch, or were they?
Hades was first on Switch, and then came Switch and Epic Game Store, I think, first, and then it eventually came to Steam and PlayStation and Xbox. But when it won indie game, I think, was that last year? I think it was still only on Switch when it came out. That was a thing. I don't know if Nintendo brokered that or if it was just easier for them to build it for the Switch. I don't know. But that was Celeste was I don't know if Celeste was. Hey, if Eric is still in here, he might know a little bit. But I don't know if that was a Switch only first game as well. But yeah, I mean those had like they quickly got on the radar of a lot of review outlets and stuff talking about it. That always helps when it can be. Hey, Eric is saying Celeste was Switch first as well.
According to Celeste, was released worldwide independently on January 25th, 2018 on Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Mac, Linux, followed by the release on Google Stadia in July 2020.
Okay.
But I want to say it was announced first on.
It was probably on an Indie Direct
on the
first.
Indie Direct. Yeah, because I think, yeah, I might be able to find that info as well. But I feel like that's where we heard about it first, because it was probably during an actual. It potentially was during an actual Direct.
And I feel like Hades was like out now or out in like a couple weeks. Like it was shown. I think it was an out now. I think Hades was an out now in an Indie Direct, and then it helps when those games are digital only and they can do that, because I feel like we're gonna see a big bump for the 3 titles that were out now. Like I remember a couple indie. This is probably 2 years ago or whatever when it came out, but the Bad North game, when that was announced, that was an out now. I downloaded it that day. Like those games that have that availability, you don't have to remember it. At least having the ability to pre-order or wishlist it that day, that helps as well. So if it's not, I would only want to be in that showcase if you were able to have people either pre-order or wishlist it, or at least have that landing page on the eShop, so that it can be, when it's in the hype cycle, the eShop becomes a black hole of just sucking everything down, and it's impossible to find again. So you want to get in like on the front page, on people, like visible to the eyeball right away, while it's like hot on discussion topics. And then I know that, I mean, Nintendo and Steam and anybody else, like you put stuff on your wish list, you get emails when stuff goes on sale. That makes me go back to my wish list all the time. So it's like, and a lot of those games do at least 10% off if you buy it before it comes out or something like that, if you do the pre-order purchase. So that being on sale sometimes helps get people, and some of those games, you know, we've seen in the past do the heavy discount just to make their way back onto the top charts, because of the eShop being so treacherous for being able to navigate it.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough for sure. All right. Lastly, from Hate Zero says Rogue Legacy 2 will be awesome. The first was a gem, but it isn't bringing anything crazy to the table. So there we go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live, whether you're on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube. We do appreciate you. And we will see you guys for our regularly scheduled programming tonight. It's going to be Wednesday, because Cheesy and Johnny are going to be at the movies tomorrow night. And we're going to have a special guest. The devs from Dire Vengeance are going to be joining us. So thanks so much, guys. We will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.